Oh my goodness, my earliest memory of the credit union was the day I interviewed for Cy-Fair School District. I had graduated from University of Houston, had went and had contracts sitting on my desk for 4 school districts and was trying to get an interview with Cy-Fair, couldn't get it. And finally I got this call to come in to meet Bubba Wilburn. What an experience. I went into his office, and this is kind of a little bit off the record, but it's still really a fun story, in that I came in and I sat down at his desk, and he looked at me, and he had my paperwork in front of him, and he opened the folders up, and he kind of scanned through it, and he leaned over his desk, and he crossed his arms, and he said, "What the hell makes you think a handicap can be a shop teacher?" And I leaned back and I crossed my eyes and I looked at him and I said, "And what the hell makes you think I'm a handicap?" That started a friendship that lasted for years and years and years. We would eat lunch together because the administration building was in a wooden building right across the street from Dean, and his lunchtime and my lunchtime always seemed to come together. And so it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks after school had started, and we were eating lunch, and he said, "Where do you do your banking at, son?" And I said, "Jersey Village Bank." "What are you doing in a bank?" And I said, "It sounds like a great deal. I've always dealt with banks." And he said, "Let me tell you about Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union." That started my relationship with Cy-Fair Credit Union. It wasn't too long after that I had an opportunity to meet Pat Wilburn and grew a strong relationship with her, joined the credit union, and here I am 30-something years later, almost 40 years later, and still think it's a great place to do business.
One of my fondest memories happened just last year when the Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union hired our clients to make glass ornaments that the Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union was distributing to customers and vendors. And we had the opportunity to bring a few clients up here to see a holiday tree that had been decorated. The look on their faces when they saw their product of their work just said it all. They felt valued and felt like they were important in the eyes of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union and the community.
My favorite memory of Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union is when we initiated a project, and I believe it's still going on today, Extreme Makeover Classroom Edition. And that was kind of my baby that I created, and I went to Debbie and gave her the idea, thoughts, what she thought about it, and she passed it by the board. And of course we started it, but just to see the faces of the teachers light up and the response that we had as far as the essays were phenomenal. And I offered many years to go and help redo those rooms, and they never asked me to come in there and do it. But I was so amazed at the passion that these teachers have behind teaching these kids of all economic statuses, racial backgrounds, anything. Just they have a passion for kids and education. And to give back to those teachers is just probably one of my greatest memories.
I joined in 1978 because it was a part of the community I was joining. But I stayed because there was such a trusting relationship on both parts. I felt like I trusted the credit union to take good care of my money, but they also trusted me that when there were needs that I were looking for, whether it was a new car or a new swimming pool or money for college for my son, I knew that was the place that I could go and get the very best advice and be able to feel like somebody was looking out for me. And so we've stayed with it. My family is a part. My mom and dad are still a part of the credit union. My son, my daughter, and they're not even under the roof anymore. So everybody has spread out. But it's been fun to watch the credit union to grow as well, because they started out in a little small building over near Jersey Village, and then we've watched and we've added branches, and so I know that it is a bank that looks at a wise use of their money so that they're able to still continue to serve us as the district grows and grows. out and allows the community to now be a part. That wasn't always the case, but that's been nice because I can refer a friend. In the past I couldn't do that, but I could refer a friend and say, you know, the credit union has always been there for us, and it's somebody that I trust and would feel very comfortable referring to other people.
What I've loved so much about being a part of a credit union and working at a credit union is that we had the opportunity to make a difference in our members' lives. And for years, you know, it sort of irritated me when I'd be talking to a member and they say, oh, well, I had to come into the bank today, meaning the credit union. And so often I would explain the difference between a bank and a credit union, because the difference is so stark and so significant, because we truly were about our members. A milestone during my early role as president of the credit union was the battle for HR 1151. At that time, we were considering ways that we could grow, and credit unions were continually battling with the banks because the banks considered us a threat, although, you know, in the difference in size and assets of banks in this country and credit unions, you know, we were nowhere close, but they were trying to stifle our growth. And so we took a very active role in HR 1151. We had petition drives where we asked our members to sign petitions. We had letter writing campaigns as part of the larger Texas Credit Union League. We were all there for the same purpose, for HR 1151, and that was to give more people in our country access to credit unions.
One of my favorite memories of my tenure with Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union occurred actually just this last year. I became aware that the credit union had been nominated for the 2015 Large Business of the Year with the Cy-Fair Chamber of Commerce. And a member of our executive team, Valerie Britton, who oversees our human resources training and compliance, serves on the Chamber of Commerce board. And looking for some insight into whether our Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union was going to be recognized in that way at the celebration that year, I tried to ply her for information whether or not she was aware the credit union had perhaps prevailed in that award. And when I asked her, Valerie let me know that the credit union was amongst the finalists, but unfortunately we had not won that award that year. I will admit to being somewhat disappointed, but I also recognize that what we do in the community, we don't do for awards. We do it because of who we are and what we want to do for the people we live and work with in this community. As a finalist for that award, we attended the award ceremony that evening, and they announced the finalists, and then they got to the moment where they were going to announce the 2015 Large Business of the Year. And when they said Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union, I was shocked. I was shocked in part because Valerie had not told me the truth, thankfully. I was shocked because the recognition was so unexpected, and I will admit that there was quite a bit of tears pooled at the corners of my eyes as I walked to the stage and walked up to accept that award. And that moment to celebrate and be recognized as an organization that is doing good in the Cy-Fair community is one I will treasure the rest of my career.
To all the members or the employees of the Cy-Fair Federal Credit Union, three special friends of mine, Pat Wilburn, Debbie Blackshear, and Cameron Dickey, I want to wish you the very best of a happy anniversary and many, many more. And I want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for what you've meant to our school district and to our community.